This episode, I felt like was very educational and very cool. We were talking to Ludivine and Nathan about the XLW-S connector.
This was, you said education. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I always hear XL, or it used to be XL Systems.
Yep.
I hear that a lot, and I'm like, I don't know what that does or what that is doing. Very educational.
Or we hear words like conductors, like all these things thrown around, and I feel like we had them in the experts in the room, and we asked a lot of questions, got a lot of questions answered, both about this connector, but also connecting a lot of dots on these products. So it was really great.
Yeah, and they're really great communicators too.
Yeah.
So I think they do that really well. So they make it easy for somebody like you or me to grasp the key points of what their business does. So.
Exactly, yeah. So let's buckle up.
Hopefully it does
great
it for you guys too.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you all for joining us. We have in the studio today with us, we have Ludivine, Laurent, and Nathan Miners. Can you all tell us a little bit about what you do with NOV and specifically XL Systems?
Sure, I'll go first. So Ludivine, aka Ludi. With Excel, I'm Senior Vice President, which essentially means that I get to work with the best team in the world that designs and manufactures and delivers large OD casing.
Best team in the world?
Absolutely.
Wow. That's a hot take to all the other businesses. That's right.
And with me today.
I'm Nathan, and I'm the lead technical engineer. I'm based out of Aberdeen, and I support like all of the Eastern Hemisphere, but I also do some North and South America stuff as well.
Great. Yeah. Love Aberdeen.
Yeah, it's always like when you hear an accent and you're like, they could be based out of somewhere else or just expat. We never know. So I'm glad you cleared that up.
Very good.
Well, maybe the easy question to start off with, could you tell me a little bit what XL Systems is? What is the best in the world, XL Systems?
So XL Systems manufactures large OD, so outside diameter pipe. We do everything from 18-inch to 72, so very large. 72 is not as common, but we can. And we specialize really in designing, so conductor, caisson, liner. Our focus is on the connection technology, which we're here to talk about today. But really what makes Excel special isn't necessarily just manufacturing a quality product that, gets our customers what they need in terms of performance envelopes and delivering on a well. Really what it is being a partner to our customers, because we're very focused on a single part of the well. You could almost say it's niche. We're offshore. Large OD is typically used in offshore wells. And it's something that an entire team of people, and this is why I say the best teams for this product line, not knocking any other of the best teams in
Sounds like it. Sounds like we had to have a knockout throwdown. Yeah.
It's a war. Is that we're specialized in this one particular thing. We understand it really, really well. Yeah. And by doing that, particularly in this world today where operators, I'm going to say this a lot during our talk today, are trying to do more with less. And teams are moving around. Engineers are going from different projects to different projects. Some of the knowledge base, people that may have known a lot about a product get moved somewhere else. So having that historical knowledge, the deep understanding of the product is really what we bring. We're a partner to operators out in the industry when it comes to conductor casing.
Okay, conductor. I need for education. What is a conductor?
Wait,
connector?
connector?
Like, is it are we talking? Is it like a drill pipe connection? Is it?
Yeah, I'm wondering, is connector? Is it in the name? Does it connect something?
I'm playing a little bit dumb here, but I just want to make sure we're all picturing the same thing for those who maybe just are completely uninformed. So, like, what are we talking about when we're talking about that?
So, in its simplest terms, a connector is something that just joins two things together, just like the cap on that bottle. It's got a thread on there, and that joins two things together. But for XL Systems, what we're joining together are the large OD pipes, 18 up to 42, 72 inches. So really, really big products. So to be able to put a connector onto those products, we have a couple of ways we can do that. The first way is we could take a forging and we can machine a thread into a forging and then weld that onto the pipe. Or we could take the pipe itself and machine a thread directly onto the pipe so that we have a connector on there. So once we've got the threads onto the actual product, then we can couple them together. So couple two pipes together to make a string, and then that string will be installed into the foundation of the well. Okay. So that's what it is to kind of be a connector manufacturer in large OD.
Okay.
Yeah. And then within the world of connectors, the one specifically we want to talk about today, XLW-S, can you tell me a little bit, what is XLW-S? What are we talking about?
Sure.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. So
it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Tell me.
It's Excel.
Our XLW-S connector, so that's our newest connector to our portfolio right now. It's a hybrid wedge thread connector. It's, the top level marketing side of that is high strength. It's excellent in fatigue performance, and it's a wedge thread connector. But XLW-S is actually based off of a legacy connector just called XLW, which has over 30 years run history within XL Systems. I think we're getting close to 40 years now with that connector. So, with XLW having such a long history with our company, we got a chance to kind of take a step back from that connector, say, how can we now take that older design and, bring it forwards with new modern FEA tools, design tools, and what can we do to optimize that connector?
Right.
And that's how XLW-S really came to be. So we took XLW, we streamlined the forging, so we made a slimmer, more cost-effective forging. We improved the manufacturability of it, and then we also kind of raised the bar on its technical performance when we compare it against XLW.
Right.
So yeah.
And I know you mentioned wedge thread connectors. Could you tell me a little bit? I feel like this is a great episode for we're like learning definitions and information about stuff. I've heard about wedge thread. Can you explain the technology there a little bit?
Sure. I mean, Excel has lots of different acronyms and things that maybe need a little bit of explaining. But when we talk about wedge thread, we're talking about the shape, the geometry of the thread itself. So that wedge is a dovetail type thread design. So, it's very intricate. It's unique. It's complicated to manufacture, and it takes a lot of expertise to inspect. But when you produce a wedge thread, you get a really kind of like improved connector design. So with that wedge thread design, when you torque the connection together, you get full contact of the threads along the entire profile.
Right.
That means that once the connector is torqued up, there's no space between the threads. You essentially create a solid piece between that connector.
More surface area contact, so it's probably a stronger...
Much stronger, it's much more robust. And that's what gives it that kind of increased fatigue performance as well. And that's kind of some of the things that we're leveraging when we're designing these wedge thread connectors.
Okay. Right. I imagine quite a level of precision is required for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of precision in terms of machining, but also in terms of inspection. So yeah, that's where all the expertise in design and manufacturing come into it, for sure.
Makes sense. So with the transition from XLW to XLW-S, what are some of the kind of concrete improvements y'all have made? So
I think the biggest improvement that we made would be around the physical testing of the connection. We didn't want XLW-S to just be a strong, high-performing connector on paper. Right. What we wanted to do is prove that this connection can stand up to, the real-world applications when it's installed offshore. Right. So some examples of that, we actually have a full-scale test facility in Waller, just down the road. So we do all of our full-scale testing there.
Really?
Yeah. It's actually
it's pretty
cool. It's a really good facility to go and take a visit.
Facility show, maybe?
Yeah.
We need to go.
That sounds cool.
Worth going there and taking a look. But one of the things we did with XLW-S is put it through what's called combined load sealability. So instead of just testing your connection in just in tension, just in bending, just in pressure, you do all of those at the same time because it more simulates how that connection is expected to perform when you install it in the well. Yeah. Another test that we did is harmonic fatigue testing. We essentially cycle the connection over millions and millions of cycles to represent the kind of fatigue environment over the life of a well. And when we're talking 20, 25 years, we want to know that once we install that connector, it's going to survive a fatigue environment for that entire life. And so full-scale physical testing is not just for us, it's also to give our customers confidence in the design of this product, right? We're not just saying to our customers, hey, look, this is really good on paper. Right. They can say, oh, actually, we tested this and it meets the real world application of where we're going to install this connection.
And so this testing ability is not something that really ever I mean, I was going to say didn't exist, but it didn't exist to this scale with your previous connection, your flagship.
Absolutely.
The XLW.
And so not only did the testing, not exist, or maybe it existed,
right,
but it also wasn't an industry standard or even an industry requirement. So XLW, the original version, maybe got off lightly because it got to just leverage its own run history as I'm a good connector.
It's proven
because I'm a
itself.
good connector.
Yeah, it's proven itself in the field. Right, exactly.
But now, even with all of that run history, we can't just develop a new wedge thread connector and say we have wedge thread run history. We need to back that up with that physical test data as well, so our customers can see, okay, yeah, I like wedge thread, I run wedge thread, and now I can see the physical test data to prove that this is better.
I think that's important too. I could see that as being a very important thing because you have something that's proven itself over decades.
Absolutely.
And it could be like, well, why do I need a new one? But I can see like, no. There's ways we can really improve the performance of this thing, and here's the proof.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's it.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm curious, whenever something's kind of a iteration or continuation of, a new product, it's not just a brand new product that has no history.
Right.
It's kind of a continuation. I feel like sometimes is it more design changes or changes in the manufacturing process? So I'm curious that with XLW-S.
So for us, it had to be both. Really, because when you design something, you set your benchmark or what your kind of opportunity might be that your design could be.
Yeah.
But you have to invest in manufacturing to be able to realize that design intent.
Right.
And so for us, while we were investing into the design and development of XLW-S on paper, we also had to make sure that we were improving our machine consistency, our inspection consistency, even relationships with our subcontractors who might produce the forgings. All of that had to raise the bar at the same time as improving the design of XLW-S. And it's really that consistency in the manufacturing that lets us know that the product that's coming off the line is the design that we expected on paper.
Right.
Yeah. And kind of what Paul was getting at, we're talking a little bit of how people maybe have and then we were trying to tell them why XLW-S is a good improvement. Ludi, I'm curious, what sort of market conditions make it relevant and make it a good change for people?
Yeah. So clearly, I don't think I'm going to shock anybody by saying that operators are trying to do more with less. And that today, I don't think anybody is trying to drill as many wells as possible to get results. They want each well that they're going to be investing in to bring as much as it possibly can to the portfolio. And in that environment, you're every single item that you're going to run, either to drill it or to complete it, is going to be under scrutiny, both on the performance side. So I think if you think about XLW-S within that envelope of cost efficiency and performance, it fits the bill. So on the front side, you have, we'll just say like the technical side of it is pay to play. Everybody needs a connector that fits the performance envelope. If you don't have that, you're you don't get to table two. But then when you look at the connector, it's really two major things, two major pillars that they're going to consistently go on with. It's how easy it is to run, how quickly it runs, what is its efficiency when you're actually, you have the repeatability of the connector. And a big thing that goes into that, particularly when you're using like power tongs, is the connector. XLW-S takes 3 minutes to make up, which is significant. It has an intrinsic anti-rotation device, so you make it up. You don't need to either send somebody on the road out on the rig floor to install one, or if you have one that's on there and there's anything that hangs up with it, to send somebody out to go check it. It's a smooth run. It's robust. You make it up once, it goes down the well. So that is particularly important, how quickly it runs and how efficiently it goes down in the well. But then the other pillar is it a reliable enough connector that it's going to live that 20 years? Those two things are things that need to coexist. Technical is one thing, but this is kind of what makes Conductor cool, along with OCTG and the like. Is that it's a product that needs to live out in the field forever. It's one of the few items that basically until you decommission the thing is going to be there.
Yeah.
So we're selling a product that's going to be out there for 20, 25 years. Yeah. That's significant.
Yeah. And with the market, I know I don't pretend to be any expert in offshore, onshore, going up or down. I know.
We know.
It's obvious. But from what I hear and understand, offshore is on a bit of an upswing right now. And I know you mentioned that large diameter OD goes with offshore. So are we seeing kind of a similar as offshore is upswinging? Is that kind of demand also?
So offshore is upswinging. I mean, there are a lot.
You got it right.
There are a lot of FIDs. So we there's a lot of awards right now that are out there for major projects. Operators are very much focused on drilling in single locations, being very focused on the projects that they're going to FID. They need to perform. They're going to maybe drill fewer just wells, but much more focus on those, like I've said. And in that environment, though we may not see, probably well count wouldn't be the same as it was 20 years ago, we are seeing an uptick in demand for XLW-S. And this is linked to everything that we've explained so far, which is when you take the technical performance aside and you just look at, okay, well, how do you run it? How is it? It makes a big difference. If your conductor can run as closely to, say, drill pipe, world that I know a bit about, where it makes up quickly, you don't have any issues, and you have people out there that are supporting you and getting it done. It makes a huge difference in terms of the cost effectiveness of the connector, because I said 3 minutes with a power tongue. If you think about multiple connections, that has a knock-on effect to the total cost of how much time you're using the rig and how much time you need people out there. So it has a significant impact. So in the world today where each well needs to be as efficient as possible to get greenlit and to move forward, we're seeing interest because it's a fantastic connector.
I think, more or less efficiency. Those are like the buzzwords, right?
Buzz.
So I think inherent with that is investment in quality product. Right, you were talking about investment in the manufacturing of the capabilities. You want something new? We need a new product. Well, we need to have better ways to make it and procure materials and more consistent materials. Well, that's an investment that you guys made in kind of like the unseen. Well, it's this. To me, it's the same thing.
It is.
Of like people making the investment in XL of like, you want to do more with less. Well, you don't want to come back in 10 years and have to redo this.
Well, you really don't. No.
Right. Right. So that's not being efficient. Right.
Yeah. I'm curious too. So I know when we say offshore, there's still so many different types of environment in that kind of bucket. So what kind of where does XLW-S, where is it used, I guess, within offshore environments?
We targeted, when we were developing XLW-S, we really targeted the surface casing volume market. For us, that's 20-inch and 22-inch diameter surface casing. And, as Ludi's already mentioned, because it's such a cost-driven market, if we're going to develop a product that has, a commercial benefit to our customers, we want to put that in the area where they use the most volume of that product. That's going to impact that project cost the most.
Right.
So that was the primary target for XLW-S. But what we've found is because it's also got such a good technical pedigree, it can stand up in those, more difficult, more harsher environment applications like the fatigue environments, or if it needs to be a gas-tight environment. So what we can also do is we can offer XLW-S into an environment that would typically need maybe a higher price point connector, and XLW-S can also stand there as well. So really helps.
Multifaceted.
That's
right. Yeah. Now I'm gonna warn you. This might be maybe a marketing question, but is my background, to be fair. But if you in the shoes of an operator or an EPC, why would they say go with XLW-S compared to other ones?
I'll take
What's
this
our
one.
edge? Yeah.
I'll take this one. I think I would start first and foremost. I said it, best team conductor. And I think that the partner that you choose to, I mean, you're looking at on the front end designing a well. You have to pick the right product. You have to qualify it oftentimes for a specific field, depending on what you're doing. You need to have a product that is dependable, like in terms of when you're going to get it delivered.
Right.
We are adaptable, so this is a rodeo. The oil fields. I don't know if y'all have heard. Stuff changes day in, day out, and we've learned to go with the flow because our customers need us to. And the technical excellence that Excel Systems has in-house is unsurpassed in our field. So number one, before you're even looking at which connection, because it could be XLW-S, we have a lot of other connections. The first thing is who you're working with, who's on the other side, who's going to be there at 2 a.m. when you need somebody to tell you why it's not running exactly like you thought it was going to. That is the number one reason that I would. And then XLW-S more particularly because of everything that we've said. It in a manufacturing drilling profile, which is essentially what operators would love to have, especially on surface casing. You have the reproducibility, the reliable running of a connection over and over and over, and you have the time that it takes, and you don't have anybody in the red zone, and it's just...
Music to their ears, right there.
I mean... That
Yeah.
and on the back end, I don't have to worry about what's going to happen 10 years from now with the connector, because I know that I have a reliable company that has checked all the boxes in terms of the supply chain of where they're getting their product, how the connection was designed, its survivability in the field. Because man, this isn't a new product. I mean, it is. But it's based on technology.
It's got the pedigree of the last several decades.
It's
Maybe a rodeo, but it's not y'all's.
Right. It's not
Oh, marketing mic drop.
And you know what? It's the rodeo right now in Houston.
Right.
So well
Tis the
done.
season.
Exactly. So that's why.
Yeah.
It does all make a big difference.
I'm wondering too, when you mentioned, how long the life cycle and the lifetime is for these. Where does field service, field support play into that? How does that work?
I alluded to it a little bit earlier. So you can build the greatest product in the world.
Yep.
But then
Which y'all have.
Which
Which
I
you
think
have,
I
of
think
course.
I've made that clear.
Coming from the best business
in
inside
case I
NOV.
have not.
I love it. No, right.
So you can have the best product, but you can not control what happens to it once it is released in the hands of the people that are going to run it. And so providing service out to the operator while running it, we have, of course, every connection has a field procedure. You need to follow a certain set of rules and guidelines to be able to run it clearly. These exist, but it's even better if you have our trained experts with you, making sure at least for the first couple runs that everybody on the rig knows exactly what they're doing, and that what we have said on paper, heck, you actually see it, because it's kind of disappointing if we're out here selling something and then in the end it doesn't actually do what we said it was going to do. So field service is one of, I would venture to say they're one of our best sales teams, and I love our sales team because they're awesome. But it is, they guarantee what we say when it's running, and they make sure that the operator has the best experience possible. And I'm so thankful that they exist and that they're there to do that. They go out to rigs all the time at the last minute. They give up family time, and they're always headed all over the world to make sure that operators succeed in what they're trying to do. And then you talked about over time. I think this goes back to what I've been very impressed with since coming over at Excel is how much deep knowledge and historical knowledge there is of connectors and why operators decided to make certain decisions in terms of which product they went with what you have to think about this ecosystem of different grades, different thread forms, different welding procedures. All of this kind of swims in this bucket of ultimately there's a product that's used and it's run on the field. And a lot of decisions were made. A lot of crossroads were come to. An engineer sat down and said, okay, we're going to go left instead of right. To be able to have that knowledge is so vital, because these fields are out there for a long time. That's one of the cool things about this product line. I don't know if I said it, but you have to be able to, somebody calls you 5, 6, 7 years down the line, which I've seen multiple times, and they say, hey, we want to do a tie-in. We want to do this modification. We want to extend the life of the well. Why did we do this? Or can we do this going forward?
Yeah.
Having that historical knowledge of why things were done and being able to answer those questions and to guide operators from the historical perspective in terms of which direction they need to go now is absolutely vital. It's what makes, you know, the long-term development of these wells possible.
Right.
So, yeah.
Man. Yeah, having to like revisit a conversation from 8 years ago and be like, why did I make this decision? Please tell me.
Yeah, that actually happened like 3 months ago, but the person who was a part of the conversation was able to answer.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's worse if you have to revisit.
Carl,
Let
shout
me
out to you.
check my notes here.
It's even worse when you have to revisit someone else's decision from 10 years ago and you're like, why did they make that?
Somebody have that email?
Yeah.
But good when you have that long.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
For sure.
Man, I hate to ask this question when y'all are just now like launching this new one, but what's next? What's next for XLW-S, for XL as a whole? I'm just curious.
So like XLW-S, because it's, you know, it's been in the field now since 23, so new but not brand new,
Right. You're not,
right?
yeah.
So I think we're going to continue to develop that physical testing program that we kind of spoke about before. We've actually got some more fatigue testing planned for later on this year, so that'll be being done down at Walla. Maybe you can do your NOV live during that. That'll be.
Ooh, okay.
I definitely want to hear more about this
Yeah,
once
we're
we get
interested.
offline, but yeah.
So I think we'll continue that that physical testing program, but also XLW-S was specifically designed for that surface casing market, and that for us was up to about 1 inch wall thick as well.
Wow.
So that kind of captured most of that market for us. But I think in engineering, we'll continue to expand that range up to 1.5 and then up to 2 inch wall thick, and that allows us to, you know, move into those more technically demanding projects that maybe need the heavier wall, the higher strength stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the direction we'll go with XLW-S.
Gotcha.
I think with XL systems more broadly, I think we need to just continue to listen to what the market wants. And, you know, as Ludi's already mentioned, it's a cost-driven market right now. So we need to, you know, develop based on that. I mean, I'd love to take engineering into a dark room and just develop technical excellence for the sake of technical excellence, right? It's fun. Look, we did some new stuff, but the market doesn't want it.
Right.
So right now they're looking at, you know, yeah, they want technical performance, but they want that balanced with cost.
Yes.
Right.
And so engineering, we're going to follow that lead and we're going to meet the technical needs and then balance the rest with cost.
Yeah, more, I'll bounce off of that. More broadly speaking, I mean, the key word is listen.
Yeah.
Right. So Excel has been super successful. We celebrated a pretty significant anniversary last year. We've been around for a while. And we've been that way. If you look at the portfolio of everything we have, there's a customer behind every single one of those. Because customers come, they have challenges, they have problems they need to solve. And it's our job to listen and to figure out how we help them do that. And so where Excel goes is where our customer goes. We partner with them, and and that's the key to success.
Wow. What would you say someone watching would be, like, if you had to give one takeaway, one final kind of what they should take from this conversation, what would that be?
So I'll go back to, I think my pillar example was probably the best thing. So pick your partner. Once you've done that, fit a technical envelope, pay to play. But then when considering your connector and looking at XLW-S, it's really about two things. It's about making sure that when it's running right now, today, it's reducing costs of the rig program because it runs fast, because it's robust, because it's repeatable, and you can see that effectively over the entire string that you're running, and you're reducing your costs today, but also making it so that whoever comes, 10 years down the line understands the decisions that you made, is able to continue to operate using the material that you used because it was the best possible connection that was available in the market at that time. Yeah. And you made the right decision when you were sitting in that office, and they will thank you. Your person who has your job 10 years from now will thank you for having chosen XLW-S and putting it in the well.
Yeah. Wow. That's excellent. Thank you all so much for coming. I feel like
thanks for having us.
Like educational on that.
And for coming all the way from Aberdeen just for this. You've got a 4 p.m. flight,
that's
right?
it. Back on.
Next time, we could go to Aberdeen. And I'm just saying.
No,
I didn't have to suffer the jet lag.
I really am curious about hearing more details about the specifics of the test setup you guys have there. It sounds really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually it's a great facility. We actually have, we can do full-scale like fatigue testing, so shaking the connection to
Right.
bits there. We have a load frame, £5 million load frame. We also have full-scale bend testing, so we can couple two joints together and then do a full bend test. And then we have a massive chimney column so that we can do vertical make and breaks. So we actually replicate what it looks like on the rig.
Right.
You know, a lot of people, they won't have the space to do that, so they'll have to do horizontal
They'll
make
throw
and
them up,
breaks.
Yeah.
And it's not the same. But yeah, we can send a full joint up through the chimney and then do a full vertical make and break on that. So,
Call your next one like the Santa. I'll see myself.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Sorry.
but no, thank y'all so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.